All right. Now, in this lecture, we will continue where we have left off. Your next idea in surface tension and capillarity part is your excess pressure. So, what is this excess pressure? Let me explain in detail. Now, as we were discussing, almost every surface will try to acquire minimum surface area. Why? Because to attain minimum potential energy, which will indirectly refer to stability. So, every surface will try to acquire minimum surface area because of surface tension. As a result, there will be less amount of surface energy. Now, if you take a drop, water drop, and if you take a bubble, now why these are spherical means, if you take a drop or bubble, why these are spherical means? Because of surface tension. So spherical, they are spherical to minimize surface area, which indirectly it will refer to surface tension. Now what is that we are going to do is, now as the area is actually getting minimized, what will happen is, when the area gets minimized, there will be some pressure developed inside this drop. So this side, if you take, for example, if you have studied optics, this you will call it as concave mirror. So this side rays will come, right, and this is your concavity. So this side is the concave part for this drop. For this bubble, this side is the concave part. So concave, this side it is concave, this side it is concave. So now what is my point is, if you take a drop like this, this drop will try to minimize surface area. To minimize surface area, it is spherical, reason is surface tension. Now here what happens is, pressure develops inside. There will be some pressure developed inside, and it will be different from outside pressure. It will be different from outside pressure. So now this difference between the pressures, inside the drop, inside the drop there is some pressure, outside there is some pressure. This pressure difference is your excess pressure. Getting my point? P inside minus P out, is your delta P, that is called as your excess pressure. So why this is excess pressure means, when the area is minimized, more number of molecules will come closer in this region. So that is why on the concave side pressure is more. So I will write that very clearly. Pressure is more on concave side. Pressure is more on concave side. Right? So this pressure difference in terms of surface tension and radius r, I am supposed to calculate it. So surface tension, if you take it as T, you have to express your answer in terms of surface tension and radius r. Now we will derive it, don't worry. Similarly, here also, here you will have more pressure, outside you will have less pressure. This difference P inside minus P outside is okay, is your delta P, that is your excess pressure. Okay, getting my point? So here I want you to understand very clearly that your pressure difference is your excess pressure, and we are supposed to calculate that in a drop and bubble. Okay, now this drop and bubble often students will get confused. Okay, why is that? I will tell you. Okay, now if you take drop, this drop, inside you have water or some liquid, outside air. Now here what will happen is you have air, liquid, air. Okay, here 3-layer interface, here it is only 2-layer interface. Now if you take this bubble inside water, okay, people will call it as air bubble. Now air bubble if you take inside water, now which this is equivalent to, it is not actually bubble, we are using the word air bubble, but it is equivalent to drop, because if you look at the drop, here you have liquid, air, here air, liquid interface, it is 2-layer interface. So this bubble is equivalent to a drop. Okay, so remember, you just understand that whether it is a 2-layer interface or 3-layer interface like this. Here air, liquid, air in bubble, okay, and liquid and air here. Okay, so usually we will use the word drop for 2-layer interface. For 3-layer interface we will use the word bubble, but it depends upon the situation. Okay, air bubble inside water, if you take, what is happening, it is indirectly equivalent to a 2-layer surface, even though I am using the word bubble. Okay, so now this we will try to calculate now. This pressure difference in each case I will try to calculate now. Okay, there are multiple methods, but one method which is easier one I will explain. Hope you have understood this. Now I will erase this. Remember, concave side, okay, this is your concave side, this is your convex side. Your pressure on concave side will be more. This here also it is more. Okay, now I will erase this. Okay, right. Now your this part, so far what I have explained is just introduction, that's all. Okay, now let's continue further. Now your next part is excess pressure in a drop. Okay, right. Now you have your drop like this, radius is r. Okay, now what is it? A drop. Now I want to calculate excess pressure here. Let us say inside pressure is P1, let us say your pressure is P2, surface tension of this liquid is T, surface tension is equal to T. Okay, now what is that we are supposed to do? What is our target? We are supposed to express this P1 and P2 in terms of surface tension and radius r. Okay, now what will I do is, okay, let us cut this sphere or drop into two parts. Okay, so if you cut this drop into two parts, what will happen is you will have, okay, half of this drop. Okay, this is your drop. So what is that I am doing? I am taking half portion of this drop. So if I take half portion of this drop, okay, this radius, if it is r, okay, now you will have two things. One is pressure P1. Okay, pressure P1 will be inside this part, and outside, because of atmosphere, let us say it is P2. Okay, now in fluid mechanics I have told you, for force which is, if pressure is acting this way, okay, if there is some P like this, and if it is a hemisphere, if this area is, if this radius is r, your pressure is, your force is pressure times, you have to take projected area. If you want, you can watch my force on curved surfaces part. Your projected surfaces in the horizontal plane, pressure into projected surface area. So you should not take, you cannot write force is pressure times 2 pi r square. You should not write curved surface area. If you write curved surface area, it is wrong. You have to take projected surface area or effective area. What is this effective area? This effective area is only P times it is pi r square. So now let us come back to this. So on this portion of liquid, on this portion of the liquid, what is that you have? Let me show you. So because of inside pressure, because of the pressure from inside, there will be some force, and because of outside pressure, there will be some force. How much it is means force times projected area. Now apart from these two forces, there is one more force. There is one more force. What is that means? If you are thinking, what is that? If you are thinking, then that force, what exactly it is means, your surface tension times length, T times small length dl here, here it will act this way because cohesive force between similar molecules. So here this portion of left portion of the drop will attract this, so your surface tension into length will give you force. This already we have seen. The purpose of surface tension is two things. One is to calculate force and other is to calculate energy. So here T times L, T times L, T times small length dl. So totally everywhere on this outer boundary, along the length it will act everywhere. So T times this entire force can be written as T times 2 pi r. T times 2 pi r, and it will act towards this portion of the liquid. This liquid will attract this. So on the outer layer, on this outer edge, T times 2 pi r is the force. Now in equilibrium, your net force is equal to 0. In equilibrium, net force is equal to 0. That means whatever force that is acting towards left minus whatever force that is acting towards right is equal to 0, or left force is equal to right force. Now to the left, what are the forces that are acting means P2 times your normal area is pi r square plus T times 2 pi r, T times 2 pi r, that is equal to your force towards right is P1 times pi r square. Right? So pi r will cancel off. Pi r will cancel off. So P2 times pi r, you can take it or divide what is there. Divide by pi r square. P2 plus 2t by r, that is equal to P1. How did you get this step? Divide by pi r square. Divide by pi r square. So now your P1 minus P2 is your excess pressure. Your P1 minus P2 is 2 times surface tension by radius r. Very important. For two layer interface or drop, your excess pressure is 2t by r, where T is the surface tension, R is the radius. Copy it down. 1 minute time, you just copy it down. If you have any doubts, just let me know. This is your excess pressure in a drop. Pause the video clip if required, copy it down. Alright. Now next thing is, hope you have understood the derivation. Because of pressure there is force. P2 times pi r square. Okay, from this I will act towards left. T times 2 pi r is because of surface tension. That will also act towards left. P1 times pi r square will act towards right. In equilibrium, net force is equal to 0. I have done this. Okay. Next is your excess pressure in bubble. Okay. So what is this bubble? I will tell you. So drop is different, bubble is different. Okay. Drop inside everywhere liquid is same. Okay. Bubble it is different. So observe carefully. So now your bubble is indirectly a kind of double layer like this. Okay. Radius r, pressure here is P1, pressure here is P2, surface tension is T. Okay. Surface tension is property of that particular liquid. Okay. So here also we will apply the same logic, except the fact that, okay, you will have your interface in this manner. So you will have your liquid surface this way. Okay. So now from this side, okay, P inside you will have P1 pressure, outside you will have some P2. P2 is nothing but your atmospheric pressure if it is in air. Okay. So now what will happen is force from left side will be, okay, force towards left. Okay, because of this portion, okay, because of outer layer you will have T times 2 pi r, okay, because of outer layer, and because of inner layer as well, okay, because of inner layer as well you will have T times 2 pi r. Okay, one is, okay, because as I have told you, your bubble will have air, liquid, air. Okay, it is a 3 combination thing. So now here if you look at this, okay, here if you look at this, T times 2 pi r left for inner surface, T times 2 pi r outer surface. Now you could ask me, sir, radius will be different, one thing is small, but it is negligible. Comparatively it is very small. Okay, it is a thin bubble. Okay, you will not have very big bubble. If you have big one, R1 and R2, T times 2 pi R1, T times 2 pi R2, you have to write it. Okay, so in this case usually it is negligible. Okay, even you know that if you observe the bubbles, there will be very thickness, small push if you give also it will break, right? The bubble breaks. So here it is very small. So now also, okay, in equilibrium if you take, okay, in equilibrium your net force is equal to 0. In equilibrium net force is equal to 0. Okay, so now what will that become? P1 times pi r square. Okay, P1 times pi r square is force towards right. Okay, this is your force towards right, that is equal to force towards left is, okay, your force towards left is P2 times pi r square. This is because of outside pressure plus T times 2 pi r plus T times 2 pi r. Okay, T times 2 pi r. Okay, so twice you have this, so that is why it is T times 2 pi r plus T times 2 pi r. So that will finally give you how much means, okay, that will finally give you your net force is equal to, so if you subtract this, P1 minus P2 times pi r square is equal to T times 2 pi r plus T times 2 pi r, that will give you 4 pi T r, 4 pi r t, pi 1 r will go off. Your excess pressure P1 minus P2 is 4T by r. Okay, so this is your excess pressure. Okay, where r is the radius of that spherical thing. Okay, right? Hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Alright, okay. So now this is, okay, heading I did not keep it, it is a bubble. Okay, so it is bubble. Copy it down. If you have any doubts, just let me know or type in the comments if you are watching from YouTube. Okay, whenever I am free, I will try to respond. Okay, now we have seen bubble, we have seen drop. What is the excess pressure in bubble and drop? Now, next, once we have seen this, we are supposed to do some basic questions related to this. Okay, right. Now hope you have copied it down. Let me pick some basic questions from the book. Let me check different questions that you have. Yeah. Your first question is radius is R1, this is A. Radius is R2, height is H. Question is find pressure in air bubble 1 and 2 or A and B, whatever you take, or this is 2 and this is 1. Okay, pressure inside. Okay, pressure inside you are supposed to find out. Okay, come on, give it a try. 30 seconds time, that's all. Right, so I will start. For the first bit, here if you take pressure as P1, outside atmospheric pressure you will have P0. So P1 minus P0. Okay, for bubble 1, air bubble remember I told you it is equivalent to a drop. Why? Because you have a two layer surface. Okay, even though we are calling it as a bubble, air bubble, but still here you have only two layer interface. So P1 minus P2 is equal to 2 times T by R1. Okay, right. Next, for this part, outside pressure is P out is equal to atmospheric pressure P0 plus rho Gh from fluid mechanics. At depth h, if density of this liquid is some kind of density is equal to rho. Okay, right. So P0 plus rho Gh. So inside pressure if it is some P2. So what is your answer? Okay, for second bubble, for bubble 2, air bubble 2. So here final answer is P0 plus 2T by R1. Okay, look at the options carefully. What is asked, accordingly you answer it. For second bubble, Excess pressure, if it is asked, this is the answer. P2 minus P0 is excess pressure value. Pressure inside it is P0 plus 2T by R1. Okay, look at the language of the question and then try to answer it. Don't try to hastily answer everything. Next, your P2 minus P out. Okay, P2 minus P out is equal to, your second value is, it is still 2T by R2. Radius is R2. So your P2 minus P out is P0 plus rho g h, that is equal to 2T by R2. So your P2 is P0 plus rho g h plus 2T by R2. Okay, like this basic questions you will be able to answer easily only. Okay, now hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, right. Next, your next question is, you have two limbs of capillary tube. Okay, your next part is, if you have two limbs, what is to be done, I will tell you. Question is this, you have a U-shaped tube like this, okay, and area of cross section is slightly big. Neglect this radius of curvature, is it given or not? Let me check. It is not at this height, the liquid is somewhat here. Okay, what is your question is, this height difference is h. Okay, for points inside, not outside. Radius of tube R1 is given, this is given as R1, this part radius is R2. Okay, right. Assume that surface tension radius, here a pressure difference you have to keep it as R1 and R2 only. Okay, next we will see capillarity, but I did not explain capillarity yet. So don't worry about angle of contact, everything. Assume angle of contact is 0. Okay, you do not know that, but just simply take it as 2T by R1. What is your question is, find pressure difference in the limbs outside itself. Manometer. Okay, so this is a manometer. Manometer is used to measure pressure difference in gas. So this is P1 and P2. Find P1 minus P2. Okay, so manometer setup, don't think both sides it is atmosphere. If it is atmosphere, things will be different. What is your question is, find P1 minus P2, that's all, or P2 minus P1, depending upon whichever is big. Here P2 is big, obviously. P2 minus P1. Come on, try it. Here the pressures are given. This is P2, this is P1. Okay, it is easy only. Give it a try. You are supposed to give P1 and P2 difference. Okay, hope you have paused the video clip and then tried the answer. I will explain the solution. Now let us take some point here as A, some point here as B. Now according to our logic, PA minus P1 for two liquid interface. This is liquid, this is air. Okay, this entire part is liquid. So PA minus P1 is 2 times surface tension by radius R1. Next, PB minus P2 is here Wait, this is the concave side, right? So you should not write PA minus P1. You should write P1 minus PA. And here also the concave side is this way. So P2 minus PV. I told you pressure will be more on the concave side. So you have to write P2 minus PB, that is equal to 2T by radius is R2. Okay. Now what is the pressure difference between these two means? Okay. You can write it as your PB. Okay. P at B is P at A plus H rho G. Okay. Your PB is PA plus H rho G from fluid mechanics. Okay. This height it is given as H. Okay. Here this height is given as H. Okay. So this diagram is slightly bad, but okay, this height is given as H. So you can write PB is equal to PA plus H rho G. Okay, so I will write it to this side. Your PB is PA plus height H into rho of liquid into G. Now what is that we want? P2 minus P1. So you subtract this minus that. So what is that we are doing? I will write this equation here. P1 minus PA is 2T by R1. Subtract it. So if you subtract minus plus minus, so P2, here I am subtracting and writing this result here. P2 minus P1, okay, plus PA minus PB is equal to 2T times 1 by R2 minus 1 by R1. Okay, here I am subtracting this pink color from this pink color box. Result I am writing it here. So P2 minus P1 plus PA minus PB is equal to 2T times this one. Okay, now from here what is PA minus PB means? H rho G. You send it to other side. So P2 minus P1 will become 2T times 1 by R2 minus 1 by R1 plus PB minus PA is H rho G. So your final answer will be this part. Okay, I have skipped these steps because of lack of space, but it is simplification is easy only. So now, okay, in questions they will give you, okay, T value something, R1 value something, R2 value something, H value something, rho value something, G value something. Okay, G10 surface tension of whatever water, kerosene, whatever liquid is there, you can take that liquid, mercury, and then do the simplification. Okay, idea is important. Okay, here writing this pressure difference is the most key part. Next, your next part is your double drops. Okay, hope you have copied this and understood this. Okay, so your double drops, what it is, I will tell you. Okay, coalescing means in some examples you have to take it as a single figure. I will talk about that. Now what is happening is you have a drop of radius R1. It is combining with another drop of radius R2. Okay, now when these two combine, you will get some shape. Okay, so the possibilities are, it will be this way, this way, this way, which is correct and why. Okay, assume R1 is small and R2 is big. R1 is less than R2. Same liquid, surface tension is T, surface tension is T. Okay, so the drops are combining and you are supposed to find out equivalent radius of curvature. Find R equivalent. When these two drops are combining, so which is the correct answer? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, so out of this 1, 2, 3, which one is correct and what is that radius of curvature you are supposed to give? Okay, come on, try it. 1 minute time. Logically you have to decide what is the final answer. Okay, so logically you have to come to the answer. Don't be in a hurry. Try it sincerely. Okay, hope you have tried it for sufficient time. Now, this drop, if you take pressure as P1, here pressure is P2. On the first one, P1 minus P2 is equal to 2T by R1. On second, P2 minus P0 is equal to 2T by R2. Okay, now in which drop pressure is more? Okay, that side I told you, concave side will be there on region in which there is more pressure. Now R1 is small, R1 is less than R2. This I have given it in the question. So if R1 is less than R2, what will happen? P1 is greater than P2. Okay, here P1 is greater than P2. Why? From these equations. Because R1 is small, P1 is more. R2 is big, P2 is small. Okay, in the denominator if you have smaller number, obviously you will have bigger number on the LHS. So here P1 is more. So obviously this will not be the case, this will not be the case. So finally you will have some kind of shape like this at the interface. This side you will have P1, this side you will have P2. Here the radius will be some R. Okay, equivalent radius of curvature is R. So now from here, okay, here P1 minus P2 here is 2 times surface tension T by R. This is from equivalent figure. Now from these two I have to derive this. P1 minus P0 is 2T by R1. Bring this to this side. Okay, so P2 minus P0 is equal to 2T by R2. So you subtract it, minus plus P0 minus P0 will cancel off. You are going to get P1 minus P2 is equal to 2T times 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. Okay, from here what is this? This is 2T by R. So substitute it here. 2T by R is equal to 2T times 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. From here 2T will cancel off. R equivalent is R1 R2 by R2 minus R1. Okay, remember this result, important. This result is important. Okay, so please do remember it. Okay, so remember that result. Okay, end result is important. Okay, right. Hope there are no doubts. Okay, so now this is regarding your double drops. Okay, right. Next, now your next question is, I am erasing this as well. Now your next question is, they are coalescing, that means surface tension is equal to T. You have two bubbles. One bubble's radius is A, second bubble's radius is B. Okay, here also surface tension is equal to T. Okay, what is your question? I will tell you. So both of these are combining and forming some bubble. Obviously its surface tension is property of liquid, so it is equal to C. Okay, so bubble, it is not this thing, bubble and it is bubble, not drop. So you have to take excess pressure is equal to 4T by R. So two bubbles are combining and you are getting a new bubble, and here also surface tension will obviously be C only because it is property of liquid. Okay, same liquid only. Okay, and outside pressure, external pressure or atmospheric pressure. Okay, external atmospheric pressure is equal to P. What is your question is, find T in terms of P, A, B, C. Find surface tension T in terms of P, A, B, C. Okay, so try it for a minute, then I will explain the solution. Okay, come on, try it sincerely, I will explain the solution. They are coalescing. Okay, for this you can keep the heading as, okay, coalescing into single drop. Okay, coalescing into a single drop. Come on, try it. Okay, right. Now, first one, I am trying to do the answer now. Okay, now when these two drops combine, first of all, what will happen is, your number of moles of this liquid will remain constant, and assume that this process is happening at constant temperature. Now why I am doing this, I will tell you. Now for first bubble, if pressure is P1 here, he did not give the P1, P2 values, I am assuming, and let us say some after combining pressure is P3. Okay, so first one P1 minus P, because this is a bubble, I should write 4T by A. Okay, excess pressure in a bubble is 4T by R. For a drop it is 2T by R. For a bubble it is 4T by R. So that is why it is P1 minus P is equal to 4T by A. And here it is P2 minus P is equal to 4T by B. Okay, right? And next part, P3 minus P is equal to 4T by C. Okay, now from here, what is P1 means? It is 4T by A plus P. P2 it is 4T by B plus P. P3 it is 4T by C plus P. What is that finally I want? I will tell you. I want T in terms of pressure A, B, C. Okay. So now next, what is your volume? 4 by 3 pi A cube. What is your volume of second bubble means? 4 by 3 pi B cube. Okay. Your volume is 4 by 3 pi R cube for a sphere. And here volume V3 is 4 by 3 pi C cube. Okay. Now what is that I will do? I will tell you. Okay. Your number of moles of liquid will remain constant. Right. Your number of moles N1 plus N2 is, okay, finally constant, but ideal gas equation you can write it, right? PV is equal to nRT. Whatever gas is inside this bubble, that volume must remain constant, same air bubbles. But what is N? P1 V1 by RT plus P2 V2 by, this is RT, temperature. Here T is temperature, not surface tension. On the question, surface tension is T. Okay. So I will write T of temperature T theta, that is equal to P3 into V3 by R times temperature T theta. denominator r t theta you cancel it off. Okay, so denominator r theta if you cancel it off, how much will you get? P1 V1 is equal to P1 V1 plus P2 V2 is equal to P3 into V3. Now what is P1 V1? 4t by a plus p times 4 by 3 pi a cube plus 4t by b plus p times, what is b means 4 by 3 pi b cube, that is equal to P3 how much it is means 4t by c plus p times 4 by 3 pi c cube. Okay, don't worry, here I am using this step will not strike easily, but it comes through practice. Okay, it comes through practice, don't worry. Okay, more number of questions in problem solving sessions I will give you how this part can be linked with other chapters. Okay, so this part if you just follow it, it is enough. Okay, remember that you can do this, that much is enough. Okay, I mean questions obviously they from one topic to other topic they can obviously link it. Okay, so right, so it's not wrong at all. So now finally what will this give you? 4 by 3 pi you take it out, 4 by t plus p times a cube plus 4 by t 4t by b plus p times b cube, that is equal to 4t by c times plus p times c cube. 4 by 3 pi you cancel it off on both sides, 4t times you will get a square plus b square plus p times a cube plus b cube is equal to 4t times c square plus pc cube. Send to other side. Okay, so this step I am further simplifying it here. Okay, so that will give me 4t times a square plus b square minus c square is equal to p times c cube minus a cube minus b cube. So from here t is p times c cube minus a cube minus b cube whole divided by a square plus b square minus c square into 4. Okay, so it is slightly lengthy, but ultimately you should simplify and come to this step. Okay, so that pink color part you remember. Okay, pink color box, hope you have understood it and you have understood the steps properly. Okay, right, now next let's continue further. Okay, your next part is, I am erasing this. Now your next part is like your thrust, relation to thrust, or what amount of you can say, I will give you the situation. Okay, heading I don't know what to keep, but let us say you have a pipe, radius of cross section of this is a, air radius is equal to b, radius of cross section is b, air is flowing with velocity v. Okay, thin tube. Okay, what is happening I will tell you. There is some bubble here. Okay, your bubble is on the edge, soap bubble on edge. Air is blowing from inside with velocity v. Air density is rho. Density rho. This part is density. This part is speed. This is radius of cross section b. This radius is r, which we are supposed to find out. What is your question? I will tell you. I will elaborate. Surface tension is T. Okay. What is the question is? Okay, this is your soap bubble. Okay, air enters and comes to rest. Air enters and comes to rest in the bubble. What is your question is find radius r of bubble at which it separates from tube. Okay, getting my point? So now let me elaborate it. Okay, now if you take this bubble for example, okay, I don't know you will be able to do it. If you take this bubble, what will happen I will tell you. Okay, now if I split it, okay, right, your force, because of there will be some pressure inside, okay, P in will be there, P out will be there, okay, P out and P in both are there, okay. So this is the outer edge, okay. Here your tube is this way, okay, your tube is this way, your bubble is this way. Now air molecules, what will happen, they will start entering like this and they will keep coming with velocity v. Now when this air keeps entering, filling in, obviously what will happen, inside pressure will increase. When the pressure increases, okay, your excess pressure is what, P in minus P out, that is equal to, in case of bubble it is 4T by radius r. Okay, now here what will happen is your bubble, when you keep filling the air, okay, your r will increase and this P in should usually decrease if radius increases, okay. But what will happen is initially, I mean, it comes to till this surface area is minimized, till that your radius will keep increasing first, and once that I mean critical value is reached, obviously what will happen is your further growth will stop. Now at one point, okay, after some threshold value of some r, okay, at some threshold value of r, what will happen is your air will cause some force, okay, your air, what it will do is your air will cause some force on this part, okay, and your pressure difference, okay, this force because of air will be there, okay, this is, you can call it as thrust of air, okay, thrust of air will be there which will act towards right, okay, and until then, okay, until then, because of this pressure difference into area, this is your excess pressure, okay, so your pressure difference into area will be your force, okay, that what is providing force because of tube, okay, your force because of tube, okay, your air is blowing this way, your force because of tube, what it will do is it will manage this force because of this pressure difference, okay, there will be, because of pressure difference everywhere, from inside there will be force outwards, from outside there will be force inwards, okay, from out you will have inward force, okay, apart from this air if you take, okay, so your pressure difference into area, this previously, okay, getting my point. So here from outside there will be force, from inside there will be force, so your tube will be balancing this pressure difference into area, okay. So here my point is, okay, for you to understand clearly, okay, your, if you look at this, for when this contact is lost, okay, until then, when this is actually about to leave this, what will happen is your inside force and outside force, when it is balanced, at that point it will leave. But before that, what will happen is Okay, your force, look at this, your force because of air minus force from outside, I will write, plus force because of out pressure, okay, outward pressure, okay, outside air pressure, okay. This is blown air, okay, blown air will cause some force on this bubble, and atmosphere, okay, atmosphere will cause some force on this, okay, and then minus, okay, minus because of pressure inside, okay, there will be force from inside, okay, because of the pressure, okay, inside air, okay, inside air there will be there. At equilibrium, my point is this will be equal to 0 when it is about to leave this tube. If not, this will be not equal to 0, and that force will be balanced by, okay, the reaction forces at the edge of the tube. Okay, hope you are getting my point. Your net force will become 0. When net force is 0, this bubble will leave the surface here, tube here. Okay, here hope you are getting my point. Okay, that force you are supposed to consider. Okay, right? Now observe carefully, this is net, this is from outside, this combined part is out, this part is in, okay, this part is inside, okay, this and this it is outside, okay. So your force from air if you take, okay, now when density is given, you like Newton's law, it is how much, means it is derivative of m into v by dt. For air it is actually, v is the speed here, v if you take out, when there is variable mass, dm by dt you can write. Mass is once again, this v is speed, mass is again, okay, mass is what? Area of cross section, volume, area of cross section into length, some x into density rho by dt. A rho if you take out, v times a into rho into dx by dt. Dx by dt is once again speed. You will get rho a v square is the thrust because of air. So your rho a v square, where v is the speed of the air, plus your force is pressure, outside pressure, it is P out times, how much is area, means 4 pi r square, okay, when the sphere radius is r, 4 pi r square. Pressure into area will give you force, normal area, everywhere pressure will act normal to the surface, so that is why P out is equal to, from here, okay, I will send F inside, that will become P inside times your area, force is once again 4 pi r square. Now P in minus P out is excess pressure, right? You can write it in terms of surface tension. So if you do that, your rho a v square is equal to P in minus P out, okay, P in minus P out times 4 pi r square, but rho a v square is equal to, this area of cross section is how much? It is pi b square, okay, area of cross section is pi b square, okay. So rho pi b square v square is equal to 4t by rho r into 4 pi r square. You simplify this, r will go off, send r to one side and keep all the terms onto the other side. You will get pi will cancel off, you will get rho b square v square by 16t. Okay, right? Hope you have understood this. Okay, your tube, what it is doing is, it will support the bubble till when? Till that net force is becoming 0. Till the force is unbalanced, your bubble will hang to the tube. Okay, after that, once that force gets balanced, it will leave the tube itself. Okay, so with this I have covered basic ideas. Okay, hope you have understood this. So this is regarding your excess pressure. Okay, right? Now next, there is a standard result, that also we will do it, and then I will stop this part and then I will start capillarity and contact angle. Your next question is one last question, that's all. Okay, standard questions we are supposed to do, so that is why I am helping you out with these standard questions. what is your question is, two spherical bubbles coalesce into a single one. Question is, two spherical bubbles coalesce into a single one. Okay, what is your question is, if V is change in volume of contained air, and S is, okay, S is change in total surface area, your S is change in total surface area. Okay, what is your question is, if P is the atmospheric pressure, P is atmospheric pressure, show that okay, show that 3 PV plus 4 ST is equal to 0. Okay, where T is surface tension. Okay, come on, try it, 1 minute time. Okay, this question is tough, you will not get it so easily, you have to try it. Okay, once you try and then you continue to watch the video, then only obviously you will understand. Okay, if you don't try it and then just simply try to copy the solutions, then it is mugging up. You have to understand and then do it. Okay, so now in this case, let us say initial pressure is P1, radius is some R1. For the second bubble, pressure is P2, radius is R2. Smaller radius, more pressure, I have told you previously. Now if they combine into one, then some pressure is P3, radius is some R3 if they are combining like this. Now V is the change in volume means, okay, what is V means, it is 4 by 3 pi times, okay, R1 cube plus R2 cube is initial volume minus 4 by 3 pi R3 cube. Okay, this is your change in volume. Change in surface area is 4 pi into R1 square plus R2 square minus 4 pi into R3 square. Okay, what is that I am doing? I mean change in volumes I am assuming. In the end I have to replace these expressions with V and S. That is why I am doing this. Okay, right? Now here I need to get this expression. Okay, this is my ultimate target. So now your P1 can be written as, excess pressure here is P1 minus atmospheric pressure, if I keep it as P0. No, P is given. So P1 minus P is 4T by R1. So P1 is P plus 4T by R1. Next, P2 I can write it as, following the same logic, it is P plus 4T by R2. Here P3 is P plus 4T by R3. Here this much is the pressure inside. Okay, now R1, R2, R3 all are assumptions. I need to get this, I need to ultimately substitute this. Now once again I told you, your number of moles will remain constant, N1 plus N2. So V1 is known to us. V1 is how much? 4 by 3 pi R1 cube. V2 here is 4 by 3 pi R2 cube. And V3 is 4 by 3 pi R3 cube. So number of moles you can make constant. So P1 V1 by R times temperature T theta plus P2 V2 by R times temperature T theta is equal to P3 V3 by R times temperature T theta. Now denominator will cancel off. So P1 V1. So P plus 4T by R1 times 4 by 3 pi R1 cube is plus P plus 4T by R2 times your volume here is 4 by 3 pi R2 cube, that is equal to P3 V3, P plus 4T by R3 into 4 by 3 pi R3 cube. So simplify this, get the answers. Okay. Okay. So this is your 4T. Okay. Now simplify this. Okay. Simplify this and rearrange it. How to do that we will see now. Don't worry. So rearrange the terms. Okay. P times 4 by 3 pi R cube, P times 4 by 3 pi R2 cube, P times this thing. You can rearrange. Okay. All P terms if you write P times. Okay. I need space. Hope it is visible. So P times 4 by 3 pi R1 cube plus 4 by 3 pi R2 cube minus 4 by 3 pi R3 cube plus 4T times R1 will cancel off. So 4T you can write it as 16T. I will write. Okay. 4 4s are 16T. Okay. 16T pi if you take common, or you can write it as 4T by 3 if you take common out. You will get 4 pi R1 square plus R2 square minus 4 pi R3 square. So which is equal to 0. Okay. You have sent these terms to other side and taken common. Okay. So from here you will get P times V plus 4T by 3 into S is equal to 0. So that will give you 3 PV plus 4 ST is equal to 0. Okay. Because this expression is change in volume and pressure. Okay. Hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay. So with this we will stop this lecture. Next we will be seeing capillarity. Thank you.